Hello, and welcome to this workshop called Ready, Set, Grow. My name is Chris Martz, and I am the Director of Global Membership and Education at Kiwanis International. Did you bring your popcorn today? Well, you can still enjoy this presentation without the popcorn. But this workshop is what I call a popcorn bowl of ideas. You're going to hear several ideas that might work for your club. And just like popcorn, we're going to pop through ideas really fast. This workshop is broken down into 5 areas. So let's get your juices flowing a little bit with a little brainstorming activity. Feel free to stop this recording at any time to think about these questions I'm about to ask. So when we're talking about growth, we can talk about 5 different areas. First of all, utilizing service leadership programs. So think about this. You have exhausted all efforts to find new members for your Kiwanis Club. You turn to your Key Club members, and they find you 10 new members. How did they do that? We'll explore some ways in a little while. Now let's think about your obligation to grow Kiwanis as a member. So besides doubling the club size, what would it mean to Kiwanis if every member in your club committed to finding another member to join? Think about that. If every member in your club found another member to join, what would that mean? And then we're going to talk about the 20% challenge. So something to think about is you have a current club membership of 30 members. You must grow by 6 members during the upcoming year. Where do you start? How do you do it? We'll explore some of those um, ideas later in this workshop. And then we're going to talk about retention. So think of 5 to 10 reasons members of your club currently are not engaged in club activities. And lastly, we'll highlight a little bit about social media and how to use it to your club's advantage. So think about this. What do you see other organizations or even companies doing on social media that you wish your Kiwanis Club could do? So let's begin by talking about service leadership programs. Here are some ideas that you can use for engaging your service leadership programs. First of all, engage the parents of SLP members, as well as your school's faculty and staff members. Engage them in everything that you do, meetings, service projects, fundraisers. At least extend the invitation. And then think about service project partners. So you could go to a service partner of your Key Club. For example, if your Key Club did a food drive for a pantry, that pantry may not even know that Kiwanis is part of Key Club. So wouldn't it be great to go to that food pantry or any other partner that the Key Club works with and say, thank you for being part of the Key Club experience for our students. Did you know that Key Club was a part of Kiwanis, and we would love to have you as part of our organization? And then think about sponsoring school events. Definitely host an information table at any events that you sponsor. Volunteer at school events. People in the school may recognize the name Key Club, but they may not recognize Kiwanis. Think about if all the volunteers had buttons or even t-shirts that said something like, I'm a grown-up Key Clubber. Then think about organizing recognition nights or host receptions for your SLPs after their officer installations or end of the year events. And definitely include parents and school staff. And don't forget to extend an invitation to parents and staff members to come to events of the Kiwanis Club. Did you know that the Terrific Kids bumper sticker is one of the most highly sold items in the Kiwanis store? It's great that we have all of that recognition, but rarely are recognition letters sent with Terrific Kids recognition items or Bring Up Grades recognition items that congratulate the student and lets the parents know that these two programs are sponsored by Kiwanis and giving them the opportunity to get engaged with a local Kiwanis club. And then, of course, you can sponsor a Grandparents' Day in a host school of a K-Kids club. Now let's talk a little bit about your obligation to grow Kiwanis. You know, we've heard a lot about Kiwanis loves their club. They live the Kiwanis experience and they share it. And that is so true. That is your obligation to share the Kiwanis experience. Historically, about 13% of Kiwanians sponsor a new member into Kiwanis each year. 13%. Just think what a difference that would make if we increase that 2%. What if every member recognized that it was his or her obligation to grow Kiwanis? Thinking about this, also think about growing Kiwanis does not necessarily mean growing your own club. I often use the story that when I was a lieutenant governor, I did recruit members into Kiwanis. However, I did not recruit any members into my own club. Ironically, my own club just didn't fit the needs of individuals who wanted to join Kiwanis, or the time format just wasn't right. But I was able to connect them to another Kiwanis club. And that's something you can easily do. You don't always have to be focused on growing your own club. Think about how many potential Kiwanians are in your contact list. And how many different types of contact lists do you have? You probably have your mobile phone. You may have an address book. You may have some local directories at home. Think about all the places that you can just pick up a directory or flip through your contacts and look for people who would make great Kiwanians. Also think about making every community event a marketing event. That means having an information table, having flyers, making sure that there are banners saying that this event is sponsored by Kiwanis. Getting your name out there is so important. So we know that Kiwanis is all about service. So why not use service to meet potential members? So what does this really mean? So many times we think about members coming to Kiwanis through a meeting, when actually we really should let them see what we really do through service. Invite them to a service project, plan a project, advertise it, and invite anyone to help. When non-members show up, include them in the activities and have conversations with them about the club and the other things that you do. So now let's talk a little bit about a very simple idea of the 20% challenge. Think about if every club in your district grew by 20%. That would make a huge impact on the district. So just as an example, if a district had 6,000 members, 20% would add members to the district. Just 20%. Now, breaking it down even more makes this a really simple concept to think about. A club of 15 would only need to have a net growth of 3 members, and a club of 25 would only need to have a net growth of 5 members. So you can see it's pretty easy for individual clubs to grow by 20%. And if every club did that, the impact would be huge. Something else to think about is that people don't necessarily join clubs or organizations. People really join people. They may feel the need to do service, but they are not really looking for a channel to do service. They are looking for people to do the service with. And that is the most important piece. You need to be welcoming, inviting, and really a club that people want to be with. And I think that that is really key. So remember, people join people. They stay for the service. And then if you leverage Kiwanis correctly, you really won't have to ask people to join. They will just ask how they can join themselves. So if they see great things going on, your name is out there, they are going to start the conversations instead of you having to start the conversations all the time. So think about what fun challenges you can come up with for your club. You may want to start with a 10% challenge, or even go for a 20% challenge, or you may think that your club can do a 30% challenge. But what challenges can you create for your own club members? Now let's move on to retention. So when you're looking at the data of members who join Kiwanis, members who join in June and July are least likely to renew membership in October. Now, I am not telling you to not take members in June or July, but when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of what we do in Kiwanis, we are so connected to our service leadership programs during the school year. So those members who join in June or July, the school year is out. A lot of clubs do not have summer service projects. They may meet less frequently in the summer. A lot of clubs do more service projects around the holidays of Thanksgiving through the Christmas season, food drives, adopt a family, those type of activities. So if you bring in a member in June or July, you need to engage them immediately. And even if that is putting them on the Easter egg hunt for the following year's committee and getting some excitement going about adding some new activities to the Easter egg hunt, engage them somehow, keep their excitement going so that when they do join in June or July, and you have that lull of service or meetings, that you keep them excited. Think about if every member has a favorite project. Does every member have a purpose in the club? And what is their reason for staying engaged? Think about what would happen if a certain member left your club. What would you lose? And you know, this is kind of an activity that you can do with your club or with your club's board. Make a list of all your club members and what you would lose if they did not continue their membership in Kiwanis. Clubs often lose members who don't feel engaged in club activities and they just kind of drift away. So try and figure out a way to re-engage them. You might want to review the club roster to identify members who have become inactive. You can assign club members to contact those missing members. You can contact members by phone or with a personal visit, a handwritten note, and just bring them up to speed with what is happening in the Kiwanis Club and invite them to attend the next event. You know, after missing so many Kiwanis Club meetings, you get out of a routine. And sometimes you just need to bring someone back into a routine and re-engage them in Kiwanis. So let's talk a little bit about social media and how to use that to your club's advantage. First of all, your club needs a Facebook page. Your members all need to that page and actively participate in that page. And that means liking it, sharing it, commenting on posts. Events should always be created from that page, not a member's personal page. For example, I'm the chairman of our club's Easter egg hunt. I do not create that event on my personal page. I create that event on my club's page and share it from there. It's really a club event. It is not a personal event. Capture photos of all your events. Tag people in it. You may want to even take photos of your weekly or monthly speakers and tag them in it as well. So if Jane Smith is a speaker and you tag Jane in that photo, the Facebook algorithms will show that post to Jane's friends as well. So you're expanding your reach of Kiwanis in social media world. Post often. That's really, really important. You've got to keep your Facebook page lively, making people want to come back and see what you're doing. Make posts inviting. You may even want to pose a question in posts so you get some conversation going in the comments, and make the post really relevant to the community. So you may want to create a club hashtag, and also definitely use the hashtag Kids Need Kiwanis. And then you can integrate other social media such as Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn. We know that Facebook is where our Kiwanis demographic resides, but you can integrate other social media platforms into Facebook. You can easily Google the instructions for doing that. There are YouTube videos for how to do that. So just kind of explore. So what works for your club? So you probably have been listening to this workshop and you may have 10 to 15 great ideas. You cannot implement all of them. So what you really need to do is think about what 3 ideas work best for your club right now and start implementing those 3 ideas. And then take it one step further. What 3 additional ideas would you like to implement in the following year? So think about that. So many times we have way too many ideas and we try too many things at one time. So really narrow it down to 3 things now and 3 things that you can add later. And then the most important thing is to celebrate all your successes. Here's just a fun quote I thought I would share as I leave you today. But thank you for listening to this workshop. Best of luck to growing your Kiwanis Club's membership. And if you need anything about Kiwanis membership, make sure you check out the Kiwanis website, click on Member Resources, or contact Member Services at Kiwanis International at extension 411, and they will definitely put you in touch with someone who can help you with membership needs. Again, thank you and best of luck next year.